Hi, my name is Heather Mackey. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today we're talking about responsibility. I've had teachers from the School of Metaphysics that describe that as the ability to respond. And that's what we're talking about today. Your ability to respond to life, to respond to any given thing. The very strange thing about being in a dichotomy is that oftentimes dualistic things are true. How fun. Makes hypocrisy a really easy thing to occur in this realm. And very likely, if you have two legs or one, or if you are what we call of the human form, some identify alien, whatever it may be, then you've probably been a hypocrite at some point in your life. So that's okay. We can soften on that when we experience it because we are in a dichotomy. We are in a dualistic realm. And it also means that you've experienced pain. Whatever your flesh costume is doing, whatever gender identification you have, whatever your culture is, wherever you come from, however you identify, whatever labels you've placed on yourself, a normative for the human race is to feel pain, to feel suffering, to feel at times disconnection or sadness, anger. All of these things befall all of mankind. And we have the opportunity, as we exist in our sweet little flesh costumes, whatever they may be, we have the ability to respond to life, to any given circumstance, experience. You always have the freedom to respond to life however you would like. And because we are in a duality, it is really easy to take a side. There's so many movements and things moving forward. I believe we are coming out of the information misinformation age that we've been in for some time now. It quickly followed the information age, was the information misinformation age, where we just, both are always available. And I think we're entering an age of vulnerability, the vulnerable age of man. And in that vulnerability, we're all being given the opportunity to walk a mile in another person's shoes, to take a moment to recognize I, Heather Mackey, am not the only two-legged that's ever hurt or been in pain. All of my brethren, all of them, have had their hours with that experience. And that gives me the opportunity to have compassion that they've been pinned as well. And we know experientially what it is like to feel pinned. So we can have compassion for our brethren when they are pinned. The reason I want to talk about responsibility is because we are never in command of, control is a word that is used a lot in this realm. We are never in control of, in command of another person's ability to respond to life and how they choose to respond. We are at all times 100% in command of how we choose to respond to life as an individual. So I want to pick some topics here that can be kind of polarized. Let's talk about, for example, the Me Too movement. I know very little of this because I've been so disconnected from technology for so long. I actually just, for the first time in 6 years, got a computer. For the first time in 2.5 to 3 years, have the internet again. And as I join the modern world, and as I've just only been taking in what others have told me, I have yet to have a single person that's talked to me about the Me Too movement, talked to me about the sexual trauma that men face. With 7.8 billion people on the planet, this is absolutely a thing that occurs. And I've had many very candid, very vulnerable, very heart-centered conversations with men that have been assaulted by hypersexualized, aggressive women. I don't hear that being talked about in that movement, right? So every time we look at a movement, we look at something that's like trying to slough off the pain of not using your ability to respond to life from love and what the consequences are of that when people choose to respond to life from fear, all of the trauma and degradation of the human experience that can result from choosing to respond from fear as opposed to love, or separation as opposed to unification. We come to recognize that I am never going to be responsible for you. I'm never going to be responsible for how you choose to respond to me. You can choose to judge me. You can choose to hate me. You can choose to love me. You can choose to feel completely neutral and apathetic about me. All of that, you are the commander of. And frankly, whatever you choose, I love me, so, bless you, may you love yourself and come from that place as you make your choices. Like I don't need you to love me for me to love me, because that I am the commander of. I am the commander of loving myself. I am the commander of choosing love in response to life. I am the commander of being compassionate to where someone else is pinned. I see so much when we talk about Black Lives Matter. This is something that you may or may not be talking about. It's something that I talk about. I talk to my family about. I have a mask that says it, because we're coming into an age of vulnerability, and we're coming into an age when many people have not been aware of the magnitude of oppression and lack of civil rights that still exist in these hours for our brothers. And it is time to awaken. It is time to get vulnerable and to stand in awareness of my ability to respond to another person's suffering. This type of suffering, this cultural skin tone pigmentation suffering, does not lie solely with our precious Black lives that matter. The natives of these lands, I can't think of a more disgusting thing to do than to give someone a smallpox blanket as a present. I mean, like, when you talk about oppression, when you talk about suffering that peoples have faced, many cultures have faced that. If you come with lower pigmentation and come with the color of flesh costume that I'm portraying in this now, then you may have a lot of guilt and shame for all of the history you get to hold as you walk through your day, due to the oppression of our Native brothers, due to the oppression of our African American brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? You might be holding that and think, what can I do? I just plopped out on Earth, and now I have to take responsibility for, like, Hitler and, like, all of this oppression. Here's the thing about life, is it never separated. So if you are a Native or you are an African American, you are unified at one, atonement, at one-ment with your Caucasian brethren. And if you are Caucasian, you are at one, atonement, at one-ment with your African American, with your Native, with your Hispanic, with your any given culture that you experience, any given religious devotional that you experience, your Muslim brethren, your beloved friend that practices Judaism, your atheist friend. You are always, at all times, unified with all of life. And it is because of that it is a really important question to ask yourself: what do I choose? I have the ability to respond. I have the ability to respond on any topic that arises. So if we're talking about the rampant pedophilia that occurs globally and all of the cases of incest that are actually present on Earth Rock School right now, most of the humans that have experienced that incest or molestation in their childhood, they don't remember. They were actually coached by the person that assaulted them to never speak of it. And they've suppressed that memory, which is one of the things that our own consciousness does to help us to move forward. So whatever trauma we try to touch here in this realm that is available, that comes from those of us that have chosen to respond to life from a fear-based place, we as individuals have to ask ourselves, how will I respond? The way that I respond to pedophilia is I hold constant conscious awareness of the safety of children. I hold in mind and heart and see these secret sex cults, all the things that goes on that has been so subversive and hidden in our realm. I see light filtering into the dark shadows of this planet. I see people being awakened of where they need to go to shine the light, to share the love, to help to heal. I see the earth's veins being strengthened. I don't see the depletion of our oil and the degradation of our environment. I see a healthy, robust Pachamama, a healthy Mother Earth, a happy Mother Earth, a happy four-legged, two-legged realm, a happy feathered brethren, plant friend realm. I see these things thriving. I see all cultures recognizing that they are eternally unified, and there's one culture. It's a rainbow culture. It just comes in a lot of colors, and we can drop the divisive story we keep doing where we say, in order to show that I love these brothers, I'm going to attack those brothers, or whatever it is you're doing, So any of these things, in the Me Too movement, if my ability to respond to that movement is to hold consciousness and awareness of humans not having to constantly be treated as less than, as power being manipulated and misused. Whatever your genitalia is doing, may you use your power in a way that empowers. So I speak to this just because responsibility is not a popular word, and I think actually always bringing the attention back to where the point of power is, that is within you, your own vessel, your own mind, your own consciousness, your own thoughts, your own heart, and that is within you and up to you. That to me seems to be where we keep missing the link. We keep pointing fingers, judging, attacking, assessing how others need to change. And you will never be the steward of that. You are absolutely, every single breath you take, the steward of how you respond to life. And the beautiful thing about you, if anyone hasn't told you lately, is that you have magnificent, remarkable, empowering, beautiful, strong love inside of you. And I got to tell you, the strongest thing I've ever seen is a human continue to choose to be loving and vulnerable when they've faced great fear and pain and hurt. It's not the person that's so tough, because when you're being so tough, what you look like to me is you look scared. You look scared. It's the person that's continuing to be loving, even though they have been through so much. It's the person that chooses love, chooses compassion. And as we enter the age of vulnerability, may we all choose that. We are offering a class, my guides and I, to you called Quantum Self. It is available at rarebirdmedicine.com. Just click on the class's link to learn more information. We would love to have you join us. May you use your ability to respond this day, to respond with love. Love to the four-leggeds, love to the plants, love to the two-leggeds, love to all of life, eternally unified, and love to the self. Blessed be.